Hello everyone and welcome to the Literacy Center Science tutorial. This is Meghna and today we are going to talk about natural resources and this is part 1. So what do we understand by natural resources? Ever since the earth was inhabited, humans and other life forms have depended on things that exist freely in nature in order to survive. These things include water, for example, water from seas and freshwater bodies like lakes and rivers, land, soils, rocks, forest, that is vegetation, animals, including fish, which are consumed as food. Other than that, fossil fuels and minerals. They are called natural resources and they are the basis of life on Earth. All of these are natural, or in other words, they exist in nature. No human created them. We tap into their supply to survive and also to function properly. Natural resources are all connected in a way. Therefore, if one is taken away, it will affect the supply or quality of all others. For example, can you imagine if water is eliminated from an area? The vegetation, soils, animals, and even the air in that area will be affected negatively, right? So let's explore some great things that we get from some natural resources. We consume water as a drinking water. We also use oil as a fuel. We also use forest for wood to get food and medicine, to get pulps. We also use forest area for recreation, which is a home of wildlife. We also get rubber and cotton from there. And what we use from rocks? We use it for construction or we use it as a shelter. We also use major natural resource minerals. And what we get from there? Jewelry, glass, can, and ceramics. We use soil, which is a major natural resource that we use for farming or in agriculture. And we also use animals. We consume them as a food. We get wool. And we also have some pet animals for our recreation. So how we use or consume these natural resources? All these natural resources can be consumed directly or indirectly. For example, humans depend directly on forests for food, biomass, health, recreation, and increased living comfort. Indirectly, forests act as climate control, flood control, storm protection, and nutrient cycling. We also use them as raw materials to produce something. We can use a tree from the forest to produce timber. The timber is then used to produce wood for our furniture or pulp for paper or paper products. In this case, the tree is a raw material for us. Most of the items in our households is made from a raw material that came from a natural resource. For example, electricity at home, bread we eat, utensils or clothes, etc. Now let's talk about the types of natural resources. All natural resources can be categorized into two main types, renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources, for example plants and animals that are constantly available and can be easily replaced or renewed. Non-renewable resources, for example minerals, fossil fuels and soils that are not constantly available or that are limited in quantities, cannot be replaced or renewed once destroyed. So let's explore about renewable resources. All the resources that are constantly available, for example water, animals, plants, or can be reasonably replaced or recovered like vegetative lands. Animals are also renewable because with a bit of care, they can reproduce offsprings to replace adult animals. Even though some renewable resources can be replaced, they may take many years, and that does not make them renewable. If renewable resources come from living things such as trees or animals, they can be called organic renewable resources. And if the renewable resources come from non-living things such as water, sun, and wind, they can be called inorganic renewable resources. And what do we understand by non-renewable resources? Non-renewable resources are those that cannot easily be replaced once they are destroyed. For example, fossil fuels. Minerals are also non-renewable because even though they form naturally, it can take thousands of years, making it non-renewable. Some animals can also be considered non-renewable because if people hunt for a particular species without ensuring their reproduction, they will be extinct or endangered. This is why we must ensure that we protect resources that are endangered. Non-renewable resources can be called inorganic resources if they come from non-living things, such as minerals, winds, land, soil, and rocks. And some non-renewable resources come from living things, such as fossil fuels, and they can be called organic non-renewable resources. So if you have any questions or if you need any help with this tutorial or with the subject, you can text us and email us and we will get back to you. Thank you.